went back to the house, I found that all my books were torn into pieces. But my daughter refused to come back to Sri Lanka because she said, this is a violent country, people are very violent, I don't want to come back. Not able to lead the government to take on a reconciliation package. Personally, I had a lot of faith in the leftists, but now I am totally disappointed. I was an eyewitness as well as I was a victim as well. So I can talk from the point of view of being a victim. Though I was affected very badly in the sense that they came in search of Tamils in my office. I was working at Voice of Women, and fortunately I was not in office. So they got angry and they destroyed some part of the office and went off. I lived in Dehiwale at that time, so we moved out from Dehiwale because I was warned that that's a very dangerous place to live in. So we moved on to Belawate and stayed there during that period. But subsequently we realized that our car was burnt and the house was looted, and part of it was, the neighboring houses were set on fire. Well, it was a kind of total loss for us. I was affected materially and psychologically. And what was worst was when I went back to the house, I found that all my books were torn into pieces. They did not take away the books, but they took away the carpet and the TV and some utensils from the house and some light furniture, but the books, they tore it into pieces. So that when I walked into my study, it was sort of 1 inch full of paper, torn papers. So that really affected me a lot. So I lost some of my rare books and some of my nice pictures that I had, which I was possessing. In fact, one of those pictures was of with Nehru's visit to Sri Lanka. Nehru, Indira Gandhi, and I think with their autograph. So my father gave that picture to me, but it was burnt, or it was torn into pieces rather. And some rare books that my father gave it to me were also torn into pieces. So I lost heavily on those things, which we could not recover. But I could always buy a TV, or I could always get a carpet, but I couldn't get the books back. So that was a real loss. And more importantly, my daughter was very badly affected psychologically, having seen the bloodshed and the violence. We were housed, all of us, about 40 of us, in a house in Vikalpa. They came to attack us, and at that point most of the people ran out of the house to a Sinhalese house, but the gentleman came out and said, please don't come here. And he went and met the mob and told that there are no Tamils here, they are all Muslims. So the mob turned away. So we were all saved by that action of that doctor who lived down that lane. But subsequently we were rescued by my Sinhalese friends, and we stayed in one of their houses, and then we left for Holland. We did not go because of the riots, but by then I had a scholarship to do my master's in the Netherlands. So I had the tickets and everything ready with me. So it was only alternative I could do was to get away from the violence. So I took my daughter, who was 9 years old, and in Holland I realized that she was psychologically affected. And to this day she refuses to come back to Sri Lanka. So but my other result was that I lost my daughter to Sri Lanka. And I came back to live here. I like to live in Sri Lanka, but my daughter refused to come back to Sri Lanka because she said, this is a violent country, people are very violent, I don't want to come back. So I didn't want to force her, so she still lives in the States. Though basically I want to forget the 1983 July and get back to fresh life. Whether we are in a position to face life from different perspective is a moot question now. In the sense that I strongly feel that the 83 riots was engineered by the state, and it was an uprising of a few Sinhala people. It was not as if the whole of Sinhala nation was against the Tamils. Right? It was very well planned by few people in the government and well executed by people, some mobs in the streets or whatever. But now I find that the Sinhala nationalism is at its peak, not able to lead the government to take on a reconciliation package. Even if the state or the government or the ministers want to settle it, I think there are elements from the Sinhala people obstructing this path to reconciliation by refusing the devolution of powers, by refusing to give in to the 13th Amendment. So there's a difference in the situation as far as I can see it. So this is now becoming increasingly difficult, and it's a very sad situation, I think. And personally I want to also add that 80s we had faith in the left movement, and the left parties, whether it's LSSP or CP or whatever, was sympathetic to the national question in resolving it and giving the due to the Tamil people. But now I feel that most of the leftists also have joined the government, which is outright anti-reconciliation, anti-13th Amendment. There is no way that we could expect help from them, because they are with the government totally into the ideology of the government. So we have lost hopes even in the left now. So that is again a tragical situation as far as Sri Lanka is concerned. Personally, I had a lot of faith in the leftists, but now I am totally disappointed.